Hi guys, this is Jackie Cooper. I'm with Jay Cooper Travels, and today I have a really great guest on who's going to provide us with a lot of information, especially if you are in the social media area or having a desire to become promote your business in the social media area. Justin is an expert in this area. His company, Digital Carnage, and also it's also called Mass Exposure, is able to support you in every which way. Justin, thank you so much for being on today, and I appreciate your giving us tips and guidance on how to promote our business. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
So,
good to be here. Thank you.
so tell me a little bit how you got started in this area and how you became involved in such an important area for businesses, because obviously we exist when we have customers, but we can only get customers if we market. And these days, it's not just brick and mortar, we're also online. So how'd you get involved with this area? What made you decide to go this way?
Well, that's a little bit of a long story, but I'll try to make it short. So, whenever I was working at my job, I basically was looking for another way to make money. I've always been interested in computers. So I got online and just started searching for how to make money online. That led to some scammy things that I was in. I would consider it scammy. I don't know if it really was, but I got out of that because I had followed a guy named Alex Becker, and he talked about learn high income skills, this type of a message, and it made sense to me. So I started learning how to build websites and create posts on social media and do SEO and all the good old things that go with digital marketing.
Well, what I love about what you just shared, in a nutshell, is that you took a risk. You knew that you wanted to do some different things, and you explored it. And I know I'm a definite believer in having more than one income stream, and also being an entrepreneur, even if you're in a traditional job. So I definitely applaud you, and that's why I like interviewing individuals like yourself, because um, anyone can find a passion or learn a new skill or do something these days, even though you're also, your story is also important because you dive deep and you developed a really great knowledge base, so that way you can be successful at it. So why does a local business need a website? Let's start with the basics.
Well, basically, that's the hub. That's I consider that the foundation. Most digital marketers would say the same thing. You're gonna have to start with a website or a page, or whether it be a Facebook page or something to that nature. But you've got to have some kind of foundation. That's your the foundation of your web presence. So that's what I consider it as. So that's why
And
it's
I would,
important.
yeah, and I would agree with you. Now, websites are sort of like your brick and mortar shops. Customers go in there and they open the door, and how they find your products or your services is based upon your website, or like you mentioned, your page. So that's definitely important. Let's say that there's a local business that doesn't have a website and doesn't really know, because different people are comfortable in different scenarios. So why would they need a digital marketing expert? And also, I know we're talking about you. How can you help them?
Basically, I can do pretty much, well, our company can pretty much do anything for them. If they need a website, or if they've already got one and they just want to optimize it for to be found on the search engines, or if they want, more people to come to it through social media posts, that type of thing, we can do that for them. But why do they need a digital marketing expert? Basically, to speed up the process, so they don't have to sit there and learn for a long amount of time, and then implement it. That's a lot of work. They need to focus on their business. So
I agree also with what you're saying there, from the perspective that I've worn many hats. And so there, in terms of both starting my own business and then learning a little bit about the technical side because I learned about ClickFunnels, but I understand that that was something that I'm able to do now. But there are things that I don't want to do. And that's why I would hire, yourself. I mean, there are, I can create funnels for businesses or individuals, but a website, I have no desire to do that. So and I wouldn't have the skill, so that's why, I might all be talented in different areas, but it's to save you time and money. It definitely helps to hire someone like yourself who already has that knowledge base. So with local businesses, when they hire or use a digital marketing expert, what normally comes with paying an expert, whether it's a large agency, a small team, or one person? What should they ask? Should they expect? Again, people might not know even what questions to kind of ask when they talk to someone. So what would you recommend?
Definitely. So what they're going to want to look out for is people that are just, or agencies that just want to get them in. What I do whenever I talk to somebody is I want to learn as much as I can about their business, because that in turn tells, it's going to help me build their website. It's going to help me do their SEO. It's going to help me, target the services that they want to get more customers for. So, make sure that they're asking you questions and they're listening more than they're talking about themselves, or they're talking about their business. That's the most important thing. So, and
So
maybe even, for them to have some kind of a background where they've done some kind of work where you can see the work that they've done, of course. But, there's a lot of people out there that's starting new, and they've if they've gone through the right training, then they deserve to be given a chance as well. But, you don't want to waste your money either, but still, it's one of those things.
no, it is, you have to kind of balance off whether someone is new and excited and really wants to do put a lot of good energy into, a project because they're excited about it, or whether they're just like you said, trying to get people in and out the door.
Yeah. Well, I was
So
going to say another thing. Sorry about that.
yeah, no, it's
But
okay.
yeah, another thing is, a lot of the big, large agencies, they used to be like newspaper. They used to be the newspaper or the old magazine that went out of business. A lot of them are that, the huge agencies, and I hate to say it, but they don't really know. I hear it from people all the time that they don't produce results, and that's not good. If I can produce more results than a major agency, because I know what I'm doing, that should say a lot about the big agencies. So you should really watch out about that too.
So when you say results, how do you define results?
Okay, so are they getting phone calls? Are they getting people? Are they getting inquiries? For their services? Because basically with SEO, you want to rank them on the first page of Google for the certain terms. Now, I would go after buyer keywords. There's a lot of big agencies that will rank you for, you know, just words that aren't focused, where people are going to Google and typing in because they're interested in buying right now, or, in the next month or so. That they just target for random keywords, and it's not a good thing. If they're asking, if somebody's going to Google and they're just asking questions, they're wanting information. They may not be ready to buy. They just want to know more about it. And that's not going to produce a customer that where, like, okay, so you could say plumber near me. If you want to rank for that, then that's a buyer keyword. You know what I mean? That's something that a plumber would want, versus how to change my plumbing in my toilet, or you know what I mean? Like, that's just informational based keywords. So there's two different types of keywords whenever it comes to SEO. Well, there's probably several more than, two different kinds, but you're going to want to focus on those buyer keywords.
That makes a lot of sense. And that's also another good thing to keep in mind when you're hiring someone. What advice are they giving you? What questions are they asking? So that way they can actually get those, that for in that example, the buyer keywords out for your specific industry. So SEO, what's important for, I mean, that kind of covers both local, state, and national businesses. So
So yeah, we covered that
how,
one.
yeah, so that's important, but to explain to me a little bit more about it for those that might not be familiar with SEO and what that means and how it impacts you online. Tell us a little bit more.
Okay, so basically, I do local. So if you're in a certain area and you provide services in that particular area, you're going to want to show up for. Well, we'll just continue with plumber. If you're in Cincinnati, Ohio, and you have a plumbing business, you're going to want to be found on the first page of Google whenever somebody goes there and says plumber. I need a plumber. 24-hour plumber. I need a emergency plumber. Those are keywords that a plumber is going to want to rank for in this city. So, I mean, it's really important for them to be there because I'm telling you, people go to Google and search every day. They're not going to Facebook or any of these social media platforms and see an ad and, oh, I need my toilet fixed. No, they're going to Google and they're searching for you. So that's why it's important. Not
And
saying social media is not important, but it's a difference.
oh, you're right. We often don't think about the purpose for each platform, so that's especially depending upon the type of business you're in, how you navigate each platform might be a little bit different. So what is, I know I mentioned this word before, but what's mass exposure? What exactly is that?
Mass exposure is basically where we write an article and a blog, and we do a video and a podcast and a slide share. So it's 5 different kinds of content, and then we blast it to over 400 or 500 different sites all at once. So you'll be found like within 24 to 48 hours after we put this content out. So I just call it mass exposure because it's a massive, it's a massive exposure. So yeah.
So you mentioned blogging, you mentioned different ways to get eyes on your business. So do we need to create content every day? I've heard the term evergreen, but again, tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay, so evergreen content is something that you can use over and over. It's never going to go out of style versus like creating content that's, just for the week, like a discount or whatnot. So you got a discount for the month. That's not going to be evergreen content and something that you can use over and over and over. Evergreen content you can use over and over and over. And basically you can keep your customers or your fans at the top of their mind. You'll be at the top of their mind if you keep sharing the same content, and you don't have to create the same stuff over and over. A lot of people don't realize this, but because I know a lot of businesses that just keep on creating, and whenever all they have to do is just promote it. They just have to promote what they've got. You create something good, just keep it and keep promoting it, because I mean there's several people that haven't seen it.
That's
It's one
true.
of yeah.
That's true. And especially if you recycle the content during different seasons and things like that, you're not going to always remember what happened in, last winter.
Definitely.
So with social media, why do local businesses need to be on it, and how should they navigate that? And then the other question connected with that is, if they were to hire you, how do you help them on social media?
On social media, well, I would create the post for you. Of course, I'm going to want to know, more about your business and what types of posts you want. Is a nice and a nice type of post, or do you want it controversial, or do you want it to be, that type of thing? I would definitely need to learn that, but we would create, I can create videos, I can create pictures, images, and put the words with it. So, copywriting is a big part of it too. So, but that's how you would do it. And you would want to post at certain times during the day, whenever a lot of times it's in between like 11 and 3 p.m. So those are the best times to post. Each platform's it's different. So like just because posting on Facebook on Wednesday at 3 o'clock is the best time for Facebook doesn't mean it's the best time for LinkedIn or Twitter or any of that stuff. But as long as you get your content out there and get it in front of people and start getting followers and that type of thing, then you're okay. Because you'll get business out of it, especially if it's somebody that's looking for those services. So
How did you figure out the times of 11 to 3, just out of curiosity?
Google.
So, a lot of times I've heard that, you have to manage the reputation of a business. How do local businesses, or why do they need to manage online their reputation?
Well, first of all, like if they just let it go, if they do have some bad ones, then they've got a bunch of bad, 1 star reviews over there, and they haven't, acknowledged it, and that's not a good thing. You definitely want to acknowledge it, and if you get a bad review, you can always go back to the person and maybe do something for them, or offer some kind of discount on the next service, or fix the last service that you did, or whatnot, and that way you can hopefully get them to change that to a better review, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But if you can stop them before they even leave a review, that's going to be the best way to do it. Like, send them an email, hey, how was our service? And they was like, no, it's really bad, and then you can work it from there before they even leave a review. So
That makes total sense. What about videos? Should local businesses do videos to help promote themselves?
yeah, considering that I believe it's by 2023, it's going to be like 80% of all online media is going to be video. So, I mean, it's going to be huge. I mean, it already is huge, but it's not as big as it's going to be.
So, if a business wants to start any of these services, how would they get started with the services?
Well, they can get a hold of me on my website, digitalcarnage.org. Just there's a call schedule page, and they can schedule a call there, or they can just call me directly on my cell phone, or the business number that's on that website. They can get a hold of me on social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, all that good old stuff, Instagram. I'm on all of it. So,
So I know, and that for those that are listening to the podcast as well as the YouTube, there is a block of information, block down below, and that will have the information so you can actually reach Justin with to check out his services and see how he can help you. Because we always because I am in the travel space as well, we always talk a little bit about travel and locations, and you're in a state that I haven't had a chance to visit yet. So I wanted to ask, if people were to kind of come down to your area, what would you recommend that they check out in the Kentucky and the southern area there?
uh, well, come to think of it right offhand, I mean, in my little city is Henderson, Kentucky. John James Audubon Park is okay. There isn't a whole lot here. I ain't gonna lie, but I mean, right across the bridge, which is still in Kentucky, is um, oh, what is the name of it? Ellis Park. Yeah, so Ellis Park is a horse racing, um, track or whatnot, and they could try that, and then they could go to Evansville and go to the Tropicana boat and gamble there. That's really about it. I mean, Evansville's got a lot more than here, but Evansville's in Indiana. Yeah.
So, how would you describe the geography where you are? Is it hilly? Is it a little bit mountainous? What's it like?
Not really hilly, or it's all flat to me, I guess. Yeah, in this little part.
A lot of farms, or
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Yep.
What's the primary product that the farms are doing these days?
Well, I'd have to say corn.
Yeah.
That's really what I'd have to say. There's a lot of that and a lot of tobacco. Of course, I don't see a whole lot of tobacco. Soybeans are big. Um, yeah, that's about it right there.
So I would say that, for those and for individuals who are looking at road trips, it's always nice to get away and to kind of clear your head and just kind of find new hideaways. And so, if they're traveling down to where you are, it sounds like it would be a very relaxing community just to check out. So, do you have any other things that you'd like to just mention about your business and how you can support others?
No, but I will like say that people can get you was talking about ClickFunnels earlier. There's a new type of ClickFunnel out. If anybody's listening that knows about ClickFunnels, it's a free system and it's free forever. You can build like 3 different funnels on it, but you can get your free account at freefunnelspro.com.
Sounds good. So I'll have my contact information in the block below as well as Justin's. And again, everyone who's listening, please subscribe both to the YouTube channel as well as to the podcast. I know we're going to have continuing conversations because social media and marketing, that's where it's all at these days, because we're just not, brick and mortar anymore. Everyone is going online, and so Justin's services and supports are really important because everyone can get clients both locally as well as globally these days, just because of how small the world is as a result of the internet. And now through Zoom, just like what we're doing. So Justin, I'm so excited to have you on. I really appreciate it. I know as your business develops, we'll have continuing podcasts and conversations, especially when you want to dive deep into a certain subject. So I welcome you back. Thank you so much for being on tonight.
Thank you. It's good being here. Thank you.